This video is sponsored by PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. Please remember to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Before going into the video, please take a second to click that like button. Let's set a goal of leaving at least 200 likes to this video. And we're on the road to getting 9,000 subscribers to this channel, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for all of your support, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content I put out in this channel. With that said, let's get into the video. In today's video, I'll be showcasing Electrode from the Scarlet and Violet 151 expansion set. Electrode has 2 attacks, but our main focus will be on its first one. For just 1 lightning energy, Bang Boom Chain deals 20 plus damage. But before doing the damage, you may discard as many tool cards attached to all of your Pokemon, and for each one you discarded this way, you can add 40 more damage. Recovering tool cards from your discard pile, however, is a bit difficult. Thankfully, we also have this new SNORLAX with the Voraciousness ability. Once each turn, you can recover up to 2 leftover tool cards from your discard pile back to your hand. This ability is unfortunately exclusive to just the leftover tool cards. So technically, with 2 SNORLAX in play, you can recover up to 4 leftover tool cards every turn. Electrode would also then be able to discard at least 4 tool cards every turn, thus allowing it to constantly attack for 180 damage. And since you can only attach up to 6 tool cards, 1 for each of your Pokemon, this attack can deal a maximum of 260 damage. However, to deal bigger damage, I added 1 Honchkrow V in this deck, since it has the Boss Pockets ability, which allows this Pokemon to have up to 4 tool cards attached onto it. Even with just 1 of this, you can increase your tool card attachment up to 9 tool cards, and this would potentially increase Electrode's attack up to 380 damage, and that's enough to one-hit knock out any Pokemon in the game. Among the tool cards I'm using in this deck are Leftovers, which can heal your active Pokemon by 20 HP at the end of your turn, and of course SNORLAX can recover this from your discard pile. Pot Helmet, which decreases the damage taken by your non-rule box Pokemon by 30, Bravery Charm to increase your basic Pokemon's HP, Forest Seal Stone so that it will allow your Honchkrow V to search for any 1 card from your deck, and finally Protective Goggles, more for removing weakness to Honchkrow V. Making this deck work was super hard, but I think this formula had the most consistent wins for me. But other than that, making this build was definitely a fun challenge. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Electrode. Alright, very nice. We won the coin flip and we are going first. We are going to start with a Voltorb in the active spot and a SNORLAX. And that's going to help us recover our leftovers tool card. We have a Level Ball, Forest Seal Stone, and a Town Store to help us get 1 tool card from our deck and put it into our hand. And Sprigatito. Okay, we got a Hisuian Heavy Ball from our top deck. We don't have any basic Pokemon prize, but we have 1 Barrel and 1 Leftovers tool card prize, so that could have an impact to our match here, so we gotta keep that in mind. But first, we gotta set up our draw engine, so we're just gonna grab a Bidoof, put an energy to Voltorb, and then use Town Store to start building up our tool card roster on our hand. And I'm probably just gonna go for Leftovers, and Leftovers is really good. If you want to use Ultra Ball, you can just leave them in your hand, discard them, use your Ultra Ball, and then just recover them with SNORLAX. That way you can use your Ultra Ball without losing any cards at all. So there's a usefulness to it in some ways. But our matchup here is again against a Meowscarada EX. It has a hefty amount of HP, 300 plus. So we can probably 2-hit knockout a Meowscarada EX. But we have to have multiple lineups of attackers constantly. But our hand is looking horrible here. We have no way to draw into extra cards next turn. And if we dead draw, that could be game over for us because our setup will get messed up. My opponent replaces our stadium with Artisan though, so that at least could help us set up another basic Pokemon on our bench. But I doubt they can attack on their first turn going second, so they are gonna end their turn, which is really good. Dude, we got an Arven from our top deck. That is actually gonna save us. We're just gonna get Nest Ball and 1 more Leftovers. And Nest Ball, we're just gonna grab Honchkrow V, because we have Forest Seal Stone. We can use Forest Seal Stone, the ability, so that we can grab any one card from our deck, we're gonna get a barrel with that and be able to draw extra cards. So gonna set up another Voltorb with this Artisan, and I'll attach the leftovers later. But for now, we're gonna use Star Alchemy, grab ourselves a barrel so we can evolve, and then reduce our hand size by attaching these leftovers. That way we can draw 4 cards with Industrious Incisors. And I'm hoping for, there it is, yes, I was hoping for an Electrode, so we can actually get a knockout here, and we don't have to discard a lot of tool cards to knock out this Sprigatito. I will attach the Panic Mask to Honchkrow V for now, and we're just gonna use Bang Boom Chain, and 4, 5, 6. We do need to discard 2 of our leftovers to deal 100 damage against this Sprigatito, getting us our first knockout, our first prize of the game. So getting ahead in this match, I think, is really important, especially if they manage to evolve into a Meowscarada EX. Going through that high amount of HP is going to be, it's gonna be an uphill battle for sure. So if we get ahead in prize, we don't have to worry about losing our Pokemon over the course of us trying to knock out such a high HP opponent. But at least we got a Cynthia's Ambition from our prizes. So even if they get a knockout here, we can draw more cards, hopefully draw into our energy and evolve into another Electrode to continue our attacks. They will evolve into a Meowscarada EX, 310 HP. And there's a double turbo energy, but that will reduce their attack by 20 damage, and a base damage of 100 I don't think will actually knock out our Electrode. It will only deal 80 damage, so we will survive an attack while we recover our leftovers. Tool card with Snorlax, we can attack for at least 100 damage against this Meowscarada EX, and then get a higher damage output on our second turn. But we'll see if they have any way of putting damage counters to Electrode. They will actually just use their ability and put damage to our Snorlax. And they have a boss's orders. They will boss it, and scratching nails to knock it out. That will actually affect our recovery to our tool card, but we do have an Ultra Ball to use so that we can recover or get another Snorlax from our deck. Get another Voltorb from our top deck. We have Artisan to actually grab ourselves a Snorlax. So we're just gonna do that, and then we're gonna use Ultra Ball because we have a lineup. Since they boss our Snorlax, we have the 2 lineup of Electrodes. So I don't really need anything else. I'll just get an Electrode. I can evolve my second Voltorb on my bench, and then we can use Cynthia's Ambition to draw until we have 8 cards in our hand. Alright, cool. We got another leftovers. So at least I'm gonna try and deal 180 damage this turn. That will at least half my opponent's Meowscarada EX its HP, so that we can knock it out in 2 turns. I'm gonna use Nest Dash, draw 1 card, and then use Barrel to draw extra cards. Hopefully we can draw into more tool cards and have the potential to actually deal a 1-hit knockout if we need to. Just gonna lessen my hand, but I'm gonna recover these 3 Pokemon back to my deck, because those are pretty useful. Unless they target my Barrel, we have another lineup that we can recover. We have Bravery Charm, so we're just gonna add that to Honchkrow V. That actually adds 50 HP onto it, so it's gonna be a lot harder for them to kill. So we're gonna recover the leftovers with the Voraciousness ability of Snorlax, attach that to our Pokemon, and we're just gonna deal 180 damage. So I will discard the 3 leftovers, and then at least 1 card from Honchkrow V. So I'll start with these 3. Although we can only recover 2 leftovers at a time with Snorlax, but that's fine. We did use Forest Seal Stone already. Face Max, I don't know if it's gonna be useful at all, but Bravery Charm definitely we need. I'll just get rid of Panic Mask, that's fine. 180 damage, we needed to deal that. At least next turn we can recover 2 leftovers and we can deal the next 180 damage to deal a knockout blow against this Meowscarada EX. So because of that high HP, we actually need 2 turns to knock it out. Now, Honchkrow V is a liability. You do lose 2 prizes if your opponent knocks it out. That's why I have a lot of cards to kind of modify its HP, like Bravery Charm and even Panic Mask is there to help, and also the goggles to remove weakness in case we go against a lightning type matchup. But yeah, we're just gonna keep Honchkrow V alive as much as possible, but it's not a necessary thing in the deck, but I like having that potential to deal a one-hit knockout even against high HP Pokemon. That's why I really like having at least 1 copy of Honchkrow V in my deck. But my opponent is getting along with their setup here. They also have Radiant Alakazam to transfer damage from one of our Pokemon, so they used the ability of Meowscarada to deal 3 damage counters to our bench Electrode, transferred 1 damage counter with Radiant Alakazam to our active. So now they can knock out my active Electrode and they will be dealing 200 plus damage onto it. And they're setting up another Meowscarada EX. It is definitely going to be a problem having to deal with 2 high HP Pokemon, but at least we are almost done with this one in the active spot. There is a possibility though that my opponent has some type of healing, and that's gonna be very bad if they heal up this Meowscarada after dealing that damage. But they will just take a knockout against our Electrode, so that's a good thing. We will at least knock out this active Meowscarada EX. That will get us 2 more prizes. We got Pot Helmet from our top deck, and we're gonna set up another Voltorb. Again, you want to keep setting up at least 2 attackers at all times. So let's see, I can use Raihan as well. Cynthia's Ambition is really good too. But I'm going to use Voraciousness ability first to at least recover 2 of our leftovers. And we will need that to get a knockout against this Meowscarada. I'm going to attach an energy to Voltorb and Pot Helmet here. And then let's see, okay, we can still recover our Electrodes. I will just go for Cynthia's Ambition because we don't really need to accelerate any more energies. Got a Town Store, so we will use that to get another tool card from our deck. We got another Bravery Charm. Yeah, I'm just gonna get that, and then I will attach it to, I can attach it to Honchkrow V and another Pot Helmet, so we can actually take a knockout, 1-hit knockout. And that Bravery Charm actually brings Honchkrow V's HP up to 300, which is pretty insane if you ask me. Put a Pot Helmet to Bibarel, and then let's see, yeah, I could probably just remove 130, so we need at least 3. So I will remove or discard these 2 leftovers, and then the Forest Seal Stone. That should be enough. 140 damage to knock out their Meowscarada EX, getting us 2 prizes. Not too bad. 2-hit knockout against their Meowscarada EX. We got leftover from our prizes, so that's really good. So now what we could do is attach that. We can recover 2 leftovers. If we only had another Snorlax, we could actually recover all 3 of them, but that's all we need actually. So they will knock out our Electrode. We got our Snorlax. Once one space is emptied out after they knock out our Electrode, we can put our Snorlax on the bench and then be able to recover our other leftover. One downside to that though is if we fill out our bench, we won't have a secondary attacker, a backup attacker once they knock out our Electrode after this one. So I am taking a gamble by doing that, but I mean, that will remove this one Meowscarada EX from play. And it will take them at least 2 turns to build up their Arceus V, because they're also playing Arceus V-Star. And they even haven't used the V-Star ability yet. So they can get any 2 cards from their deck once they evolve into an Arceus V-Star. So we'll see what happens here, but you know what? Even if we take a loss here, at least I'll be able to showcase a high amount of damage with Electrode. So that's what I'm hoping for. Because of that damage on our Electrode, they are dealing more than 200 damage. So they will get a knockout for that, but they're only taking 1 prize, so we're pretty even on our price exchange here. But 310. I don't know if I should play Snorlax. I could, but we should be able to get enough tool cards, right, to get a knockout. So I will just go for a Voltorb. I don't need to recover all 3 of my leftovers in the discard pile. I just want to take a knockout here and then use Raihan, attach it to this Voltorb, and then see what I can get from our deck. I can get an Electrode to evolve, but I'll just get my last tool card, I think. And that should set us up for the next one, but since I don't have anything to get an evolution, we actually need that to evolve our active to attack, right? You can't forget that. So always make sure of what you're doing, since we have Town Store anyways to grab that protective goggles. So we have all the tool cards we need to get a 1-hit knockout here, and an extra one actually. So let's see how much we're dealing here. 260, right, for 6. So we need at least 8. We need at least 8. 8 tool cards in play so that we can deal a lot of damage, but we're just gonna do it slowly here. Alright. See how much damage we're dealing now. Just attach. I mean, I can attack with Snorlax too in case I need to, right? 340, yeah. So we will discard all of our tool cards here to get a 1-hit knockout. Bang boom chain against this Meowscarada EX. So 1, 2, 3. It does take a while for the PTCGL to do this, but there it is, guys. 8 tool cards dealing 340 damage to deal a 1-hit knockout against Meowscarada EX, getting us 2 prizes and the scoop. There you have it, guys. Very excellent. Alright, let's get right into our second match. And let's see, I think I will put my Manaphy in the active. That way I can preserve my Bidoof. No, I'll just put my Bidoof because I don't want to fill up my bench if we don't need Manaphy. We can always just retreat it with Arven, right? So that's what it is. So my opponent won the coin flip. They are going first in this matchup. They are going to start with a Venonat. They have Mew EX, which is pretty dangerous. It can copy our attacks. They also have Radiant Alakazam. They have Taruntula. I don't know how you guys pronounce it, but Spidops and Venomoth. So this is an item lock matchup, guys. I'm pretty scared of what it's gonna be. Got one left overpriced. So we're gonna play it smart here and play it safe. Knowing your opponent's build and their strategy is definitely a key to winning games as well, guys. So just keep that in mind. Let's see here. I can evolve my Bidoof in the active spot, but getting it out of the active is gonna be a problem since we don't have an energy, and I can only get tool cards here. So with this level ball, I think I will just grab Voltorb. And then put Pot Helmet to our Bidoof. Town Store to grab another tool card. I think I'm going to go with Pot Helmet again. And then just pass. Right? Manaphy, I'm not sure if it's going to make a big difference here, but just in case they have like an escape rope, Manaphy is a good Pokemon to put in our active. That way, even if they knock it out, you know, it's not gonna affect our initial setup here, because we need Bibarel, we also need Electrode to attack. So Venomoth is an item lock type of strategy. It does deal 30 damage, but I'm thinking with a Pot Helmet, they will not be able to deal any damage to our Pokemon. And that way we don't have to be limited to using item cards in this matchup. It is going to be a little bit hard to get our Bidoof out of the active spot, but I'm thinking if we can just use an energy, we can actually retreat it and then keep attacking with Electrode. And with a Pot Helmet, they can't damage us with their Venomoth as well. So again, it really requires a lot of thinking here in this matchup, because we don't want to get item lock, get stuck in the active, and then we deck out. So they will attack. At least they don't damage our Bidoof at all. We got basic energy, so we probably should just retreat it, but I'm gonna go with Electrode for now, and then I'm just gonna use Town Store, get myself Bravery Charm to add HP to our Manaphy, because I know I've seen this in Tricky Gym where they actually transfer damage with Radiant Alakazam to our Pokemon. But I'm gonna keep it unevolved so that at least we can still retreat with one energy with Bidoof. They are using Crushing Hammer though, but they failed. Alright, cool. So that's a good thing. That's very disruptive, because if we run out of energies, that it's gonna be really bad. But that's one of the things that I don't want to happen, is that if they actually trap one of our Pokemon in the active spot and then we can't get it out. So if they evolve into Spidops EX, which increases the retreat cost of our active by 1 extra energy, it's going to be a lot hard for us to get our Bidoof out of the active spot. So if we're item locked, we can't use our switches. It's going to be a big problem. So they're using the League Stadium here, which increases the attack damage or attack cost by 1 colorless energy to our basic Pokemon, but we're not attacking with basic Pokemon, so that's fine. They will evolve into a Spidops EX though, which is really bad. So now Bidoof will actually require 2 energies for us to retreat it. There's another Crushing Hammers, and they actually succeeded. Alright, this is really bad, because now we have to really focus on getting Bidoof out of the active spot, and we can keep attacking with Electrode once we get it in the active. But this is gonna be a real big problem for sure. So we gotta figure out what we need to do here. I don't want to evolve into Bibarel. They can't damage us anyway, so that's fine, you know. We can wait it out. We got a boss's orders from our top deck though, so that's good. I could probably just get this Radiant Alakazam in their active, so if they cannot retreat it, we might be able to just use an item card to get this Bibarel out of the active spot. I will just set up another Electrode line just in case. I'm just gonna keep building up my leftovers here. And then we need a Snorlax at some point here. I hate to use basic energy, but I should. I'll just do that, and then I'm just gonna end my turn. I mean, they already used up 2 of their Crushing Hammers. recovering those crushing hammers. Speaking of which, here's another one. Ah! These crushing hammers, I forgot how annoying these these cards were. I remember many years ago, crushing hammers was actually a big deal. Putting 4 in a lot of your decks was actually very pivotal to winning a lot of games. They are gonna boss my Manaphy in the active spot, so this is a little bit dangerous because now if they get their Radiant Alakazam out of the active spot, they can start attacking and Manaphy will get stuck. But thankfully, they don't get to retreat their Radiant Alakazam just yet. And let's see, I could put Honchkrow, because just in case they attack with their Spidops EX, having Honchkrow is actually really important. I could recover those 2 energies with Super Rod. That will also thin out my hand. And then I can use Bibarel to draw 5 cards, and hopefully I can get a switch here. Still nothing, but we got an Arven, so that's good. We got our switch. We can start attacking. We got a basic energy as well. You know, given that we only have a few in this deck, that draw is actually pretty good. For now, I'm going to use Protective Goggles. Actually, Bravery Charm is good. That will add HP to our Honchkrow V, making it more... make it survive even further, right? I will attach an energy to Electrode, and I will attack this turn. Town Store to get another tool card. This is our last one, Protective Goggles, from our deck, and I should be able to attach the last one to our Honchkrow V, and then we're just gonna attack, knock out this Radiant Alakazam. Bang Boom Chain, and let's see, we need at least 3. So 3 leftovers. That should knock out, dealing 140 damage, knocking out the Radiant Alakazam, getting us our first prize. Got a level ball. Alright, very good. So now they can knock out our Electrode for sure. If they use Venomoth, we're just gonna continue to knock them out. So they have to plan ahead here. Probably draw into a boss's orders, trap one of our Pokemon, and then keep attacking us, preventing us from using our item card. But they're just gonna go for Colress Experiment, drawing more cards, putting more cards in their Lost Zone. I don't know if they have any Pokemon that can attack using the Lost Zone engine. If they have, like, dude, another Crushing Hammer. Ugh, these Crushing Hammers are annoying. Okay, that should be their last one, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Unless they can recover it, that's gonna be really bad. But I was saying, if they have like Cramorant or maybe Sableye, that could be really bad too. It's like a good finishing move for our Pokemon, damaged Pokemon. So they will use Venomoth's attack, dealing 30 damage. But we're gonna attack. We're gonna attempt here. We are confused, so we will have to flip a coin to find out if we're gonna succeed with this attack. But we got a Snorlax, so we're gonna recover 2 of our leftovers. And all we need to do is actually discard 2 leftovers or 2 tool cards to deal 100 damage to knock out this Venomoth. But again, this confusion will be a 50% chance of success. So we're gonna try and attack with it. Alright, cool. We got heads. So we're gonna take a knockout here. Very nice. Yeah. Just remove these leftovers. And we need to discard 2. So I'll get rid of Bravery Charm. That way, leaving this leftovers on the active will actually heal it, making it survive longer. And we got another leftovers from our prizes, so that's really good. So we recovered 2 damage counters or 20 HP. And again, we're gonna survive longer. But they are gonna Iono, that will reduce our hand size to 4. But I think we're in control here. We just have to be very careful of using up our resources. But we should be okay. But this confusion is super annoying for sure. Alright, so just gotta make sure that you have a good sense of what resources you've already used up and just don't overdo it. At least we don't have to worry about those crushing hammers. They will attack against, again, freezing us or item locking us. We won't be able to use our item cards. Gonna recover 2 of our leftovers with Snorlax. Hopefully we will succeed here. But once we attack, if we fail, that's gonna be 70 damage to Electrode and they will knock it out. But thankfully we have Cynthia's Ambition, so we could probably draw into more cards that we need here. Oh, unfortunately we failed that attack. That will deal 30 damage to our Electrode. So now it is within knockout range. Oh no, I forgot. The leftovers heals us, so we will survive one more turn. Alright, cool. Because if they attack with their Perplexing Powder, they're dealing 30 damage, so that brings us to 80 damage, and we can survive one more turn. So this leftovers is actually it's proving to be a very useful card in this matchup. If we can get our Electrode with the pot helmet, we are actually looking good. They are going to use boss's orders to get our Bibarel in the active spot. That will trap us, but thankfully the pot helmet is actually reducing their attack by 30, or reducing it down to 0 damage. Let's see, if I use Giovanni's Charisma, I could remove their energy card, but then they can just reattach it. It will be very useless, so I'm just gonna end my turn here. Because I can't recover boss's orders, Palpad would be really nice to recover my boss's orders, and I gotta get this Bibarel out of the active spot. With 2 Spidops EX in play now, we now have 4 retreat cost. So I can't attach 4 energies on Bibarel to get it out of the active. So I'm just gonna continue to pass here, because you know, if you wanna play this waiting game, I will. They have 7 cards left in their deck. We have 19. So they're gonna deck out first before we do. And we got a Pachirisu. So I am also experimenting with Pachirisu in this deck, because Pachirisu, it does require 2 energies onto it, but you don't have to discard tool cards. So the more tool cards you have, the higher its attack damage output. So that was one option that I have. I also actually have the thought of adding Rotom V in this deck, but it depends on how many tool cards you have in the discard pile, and then however many you put in the lost zone, that's how much damage it will deal. So it's kind of like a last minute or last attack kind of thing, an end game attacker, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go with this Honchkrow V for now, but those are 2 options that I was thinking of: Pachirisu and also Rotom V. But yeah, we're just gonna keep passing until my opponent decides to get their Venomoth out of the active spot and maybe attack with either Mew EX or their Spidops EX. That's the only way they can win this game at all. Otherwise, they're not dealing any damage to our Bibarel or our Electrode. They can keep transferring those damage with Radiant Alakazam, but that's pretty much it. We will always have 1 Electrode to attack, and this one with the pot helmet, they cannot knock out with Venomoth. So they're gonna transfer, that's as much damage they can transfer to it. If they can boss one of our other Pokemon in the active spot, that's fine. But if they knock one out, yeah, we're just gonna play this passing game. You're gonna deck out first. If you can recover your cards or something like that, then more power to you. But I'm not losing this game by decking out, guys. They used up 2 of their Super Rods, so I'm not sure how much they can recover with that. They will have to make a decision here. They can retreat their Venomoth because it only requires 1 energy to retreat. Then they can attack with Spidops EX most probably. I think that's what they're doing because there's no way they can win this one. So there is no deck out win condition for my opponent. So they're going to go for Spidops EX to deal a knockout against our Barrel most probably. Unless they have a boss orders. If they knock one out of our Electrodes, we can just knock them back too. So they will take a knockout against our Barrel. Alright, that will give us a chance to put our Electrode in the active spot. I think this is fine. Or I could use this one with the Pot Helmet. That way they can't knock it out with Venomoth. So they can't add any more damage to our Pokemon, even with Radiant Alakazam spreading it. So, we should have enough here. 260. All we need is 6 tool cards to discard to be able to knock out this Spidops EX. Me put Squovit. We can't actually deck out with Squovit in play. Me get rid of Pachirisu in this Nest Ball. We're pretty much all set actually. And then I can use Palpad now. So let me do that. I get a boss orders and Cynthia's Ambition in case we need to draw extra cards, but this should be it. Use Nest Dash and Snorlax. Okay, yeah, 260 damage. We will have to discard all of our tool cards, but you know what? It's a risk that I'm willing to take, because even if they knock out our Electrode, as long as we have Snorlax, we can recover 2 of our tool cards. It's not being affected by Venomoth's attack. So we're gonna go for a knockout here, getting us 2 prizes. That will leave a lot of our Pokemon defenseless though, but it's a risk I'm willing to take here. So I think, yeah, because once we knock it out, they can use Venomoth, but we can continue to attack. We can deal a knockout blow against their Venomoth with just 2 tool cards, and that's all our Snorlax can do, is basically recover 2 leftover tool cards from our discard pile, and then be able to attack for 100 damage, knocking out those Venomoths. So they will not be able to attack with their Spidops EX, given that it doesn't have any energies. But we'll see what they do here. They are going to try and attack with Mew EX, but all it can do is deal 70 damage. If they actually left those damage counters to our active, it should have been left alive, but that's the only attack they can copy. Bang Boom Chain, they need tool cards attached. Since they don't have any, they can't really deal a serious amount of damage. Alright, since they don't have any energy, they can't really attack with Venomoth, and they only have 2 cards left in the... You know what? I'm just gonna use Iono. That's gonna draw all of the cards from their deck, and they're actually the ones gonna deck out. This is insane. There you have it, guys. Against a Venomoth build, item locking is useless against our Electrode build. This is insane. We actually won that one fair and square. A really nice game. So there you have it, guys. Electrode, we had everything against their Venomoth build. So yeah, a really good game actually. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.